Hello, everybody. Welcome to day 2 of our Masterclass, Building Your 7-Figure Dream Team. We are so excited. Yesterday was amazing. We have been watching all of your comments and your homework thread posts, and we are loving that you guys are loving it. So thank you again for joining us today. Anybody that is new, welcome. My name is Alexis, and with me is Mehreen Siddiqui, and we are your certified high performance coaches. And we're so excited to have you here. We are really excited for this whole week. And thank you guys so much for showing up and for continuing to show up for yourselves. We talked a little bit yesterday about really giving yourself this gift of time and showing up here and being here for yourself and doing the work and really getting something out of the time that you're putting in. So welcome back. Welcome if you're new. We're so excited to get into today. But first, a couple of reminders. Mehreen, did you want to start with you?
A few reminders. So as people are coming in, just want to remind, especially for those of you who are just now joining, make sure that you've got your workbook. It looks like this. It's about 22 pages. It's a hefty workbook. But we're going through each day, through the workbook. So you want to make sure you have that. If you don't have it, reach out to your concierge. And if you don't know who your concierge, say, I don't know who my concierge is in the comments, and they will grab you and say, we got you, and we're going to get you the workbook right away. Okay. So your concierge is either Rachel or Randy, and you can check if they probably tried friending you. They probably already started DMing you as well. So check your DMs, check your friend requests. If you see Rachel or Randy, you want to make sure you accept their friend request so that you can see their DMs and communicate with them, and they are going to take care of you. I mean, think of it as if you're going to a conference. You have a host or usher that kind of tells you where you're sitting, where to find the refreshments, where is the restroom, would you like some water, do you need a pen with your workbook, everything that you need. That's what the concierge is there for. Or maybe it's you want to speak to one of us. They'll book an appointment with us for you to speak to us. So many of you, we've actually talked to many of you, and we've got appointments booked with a few others too. So we'd love to speak to every single one of you that are here, that are enjoying this workshop, getting to know who you are, why you joined this community, why you joined the masterclass, and how can we serve you. That's what it's all about. That's who we are as leaders, we're servant leaders. We're here to help you, support you in what you need. Okay? So make sure you have your workbook. Once again, I see more people jumping on. Make sure you get that workbook. If you don't know where to get it, say, I don't have my workbook, and somebody, a concierge, Rachel or Randy, will take care of you. Okay, homework. So a lot of you, I saw it coming through. A lot of you did the homework from day 1. And make sure that you're going into the homework thread, which is, you can find it when you're in the Women Who Lead group. There is a tab. It used to say units, but now it says guides. If you click on the guides, then you'll see there's a section where you meet Mehreen, meet Alexis. Then there'll be bonus offers. I'll talk about the bonus offers. And then you'll see day 1. In the day 1, you'll see visual recaps. You'll see, what else do we have? Visual recaps, the homework thread, and the video from yesterday. In that homework thread, that post, you want to put what you got out of doing the homework. There we have action items you're going to take. We want to know that you're taking action and you're getting value out of this masterclass. And it also, when you are posting on that homework thread, which your concierge is also tagging you on, it also gets you in the running for the giveaway that we're going to announce on Thursday. So you want to make sure that you're doing that, okay? What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, bonus offer. Bonus offer. So we've got a couple of bonus offers. We got giveaways and bonus offers. So the one that you want to really take advantage of, especially for those of you who did the quiz from yesterday and discovered you needed to be a little bit more organized or increase your productivity. If that sounds like you, and this is for anybody, we have a workshop that is exclusive for those of you who invite 5 friends. You get invited to a workshop where we will teach you how to get your 1-year goal in 90 days. Yes, it can happen. Our clients do it. We stay on top of them. We make this thing happen. And we're going to give you the tools that you can start using right away and immediately start making impact and reach those goals. Okay. So for those of you who are always shiny object or can't stay focused or not feeling organized, this is the workshop for you. How do you get it in? You invite 5 friends, give them the link to our registration page, have them register, let your concierge know who those 5 people are so we can welcome them, make sure that they get caught up on any replays that they may have missed, make sure that they get the workbook, and so that we can support them. And then that puts you in the running for the bonus offer as well. So you don't want to miss that. So find those powerful women in your lives and invite them in, because we want to make sure that they get all the value from this masterclass. Okay. So any questions on that? Let's see if we got any questions. I'm going to check in. Okay, Cassandra says, I don't have an advisor. Okay, so if concierge, if you can reach out to Cassandra and she doesn't have a workbook, let's make sure that happens for Cassandra. Thank you, Cassandra, for letting us know. What else we got here? They love the music. We love the music. We're like dancing in the background. You can't see us. You don't want to see us.
So good.
It's not. Yeah, you don't want to see. But it's to get us pumped, to get you pumped. All right, someone's printing theirs right now. Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. And it's not too late, okay? It's not too late to get into the bonus. You'll have until I think we'll announce Thursday morning. So catch up on your homework. You know, if you invited your friends, tell them to also do it, because, you know, we strive to build community. When you have a community striving to excel or get to that next level, you build that camaraderie. So you're helping each other, you're motivating each other, right? Why do we talk about building your dream team? Because when you have a dream team, you have to show up. You have to do it. You're responsible for everyone, right? That's why I'm such a big believer of building teams, because that motivates me. I got to show up for Alexis. I got to show up for my concierge, my team. I have to show up, right? And same thing for Alexis. She's working with the team. The team is counting on her, so she's going to show up. That's what you want to build for yourself, even in your personal life, right? Mm-hmm. Our families are counting on us. So that's what we're talking about this week, right? Is self-leadership and making sure you have the support in the community that supports you to reach your goals. Okay? Let's see. Yes, the bonus session will be live on Saturday at 3 p.m. Yeah, Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern. If you can't make it and you qualified for the bonus session, not to worry. We will send you a link for the recording so that you can watch it. All right. And how do you get into that? Once you qualify, how do you get it? Your concierge will be sending you a Zoom link that's unique to you, so that you can register and get your Zoom link to enter into that VIP session. All right, let's get started. Let's talk about what we did yesterday, Alexis.
Yeah, so yesterday we did some spring cleaning, right? The perfect time for it, as we're entering into spring, and we're really tapping into what we want for ourselves, what we want to create for ourselves and for our business, and what is it that we need to let go? What do we need to kind of clean out in terms of the thoughts that we have or the things that are holding us back? And we asked you a few really, thoughtful questions that most people don't take the time to ask themselves. And so I know I heard from a few of you that were like, it was a simple question, but I never asked myself what I actually want. I never took the time to kind of go through and really think about it. So I hope that, you guys got a lot out of those questions. You maybe discovered something about yourself that you either didn't know or haven't thought about in a while. And we're going to continue gaining that kind of clarity. And I think for us, especially in high performance, clarity is the first thing that we always start with, because it is that foundation that we build everything else upon. And so we're going to dive into today, which is start showing up with influence. And influence is so crucial, especially when you're leading a team. If you think back to leadership styles, 20 or 30 years ago, was very much that authoritarian figure that just do as I say, and, you're getting paid, and that's your only motivator. Just do it because those are the orders. And that we've evolved so far from that. We've realized that people aren't just showing up for a paycheck anymore. Right? I know I don't. I know I've chosen a career that I would show up for even if I didn't get paid, because there's so many other things. But how do we influence our teams to be showing up as their best selves? Right? How do we influence our teams, our families, the people around us to make positive changes in their life? Right? Influential people, they often seem to be in control, right? They're cool, they're calm, they're collected. And we typically aren't inspired or influenced by people that are hot messes, that are reactionary and emotional and all over the place, right? Influence is a process. It doesn't happen with one encounter. Influence is a process of consistency. Showing up as your true and authentic self, whether that's in your communication style, in your support, in the resources that you offer, all of those things, it's the consistency that allows us to be influential, right? And everything that we do hinges on our ability to connect with others and form deep and meaningful relationships. So we know that incredibly influential people understand this and understand what we call the locus of control. Now, that is not our term. This is going to date back in psychology to, I believe, the 60s, 50s, 60s, it originated. But the locus of control is the degree to which people believe that they, as opposed to external forces that are beyond their control or beyond their influence, have control over the outcomes of the events in their lives.
Yeah.
So if you're following in the, thank you. If you're following in the workbook, there's some blanks
right here
you're going to fill in. So I'll say that again. Locus of control is the degree to which people believe that they, as opposed to external forces, have control over the outcome of events in their lives. Okay. And there's two sort of different sides of this spectrum, right? There's the internal locus of control, which is the belief that you are in charge of and have control over the events that occur in your life, right? And when we are grounded in a more internal locus of control, we feel more free. We feel more meaning in our lives, right? We feel more in control. An external locus of control is the belief that fate, chance, powerful forces outside of our life, of us, determine life events, and that you or me have very little control over them. Okay? So an external locus of control is the belief that fate, chance, or powerful outside forces determine life events, and you have little control over them. Right? And now we can flip-flop between the two, but most of us will lean one way or the other, right? And when we have an external locus of control, this is where a lot of anxiety comes out. This is where a lot of fear, a lot of stress, a lot of just kind of that chaos, that internal chaos that we feel, because we feel like we're not in control. We're at the whim of other people, forces beyond our control. And this isn't a great place to be, right? Especially in our business. So we want you to start thinking about, where do you find yourself? Do you, and some words or phrases, you might, if there's an issue, are you quick to blame it on somebody or something else, right? Or the idea of, that saying that I love to hate, it is what it is, right? Does that come out of your mouth often, right? Whatever will be, will be. And feeling as though we actually don't have as much control as we actually do over the different areas of our life. And while it's true that some events, right, happen outside of our control, right? That's absolutely true. We are always in control in how we respond to them, right? But we forget that, right? He made me so mad I did this. She infuriated me, and I wasn't in control. I didn't mean to say it. It just came out, right? so many different ways this comes out. So just think for yourself, where do you find yourself sitting in this spectrum? Do you recognize the control that you have? Now, if you open up, if you're in your workbook, you're going to see a little chart that says what is in your control. And then we've kind of detailed out just a couple of areas in your life, in your business.
Oh, before we get started on that, make sure there's a line missing in your workbook. So make a line right down the center of this chart. If you can do that, please. This line, make sure you draw a line right down the center of that. So, my mistake.
No, yeah.
You have to draw the line.
Because we want you to think about what are the things that you are in full control of in your business, in your relationships, and in your health journey. So give you a second, because I actually want you to do this. I actually want you to start, because sometimes we're like, we're not in control day to day. We're like hoping and praying that we get some clients, that we get new sales, that this works out.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I know I'm in control of when I set the meetings.
Yeah.
I know I'm in control of how I speak to others. I know that I'm in control of how many leads I reach out to each day. Yeah. No, that's really great.
Yeah.
How about you?
I missed the second thing you said, so I might repeat it because you froze on me. I think it was my side, but I'm in control in how I show up in those meetings. You said I'm in control of meetings. Yeah, I'm in control as to the type of energy that I bring into a meeting with staff, a meeting with clients or potential clients. I'm in control of the amount that I work on particular projects. I'm in control of my calendar, even though sometimes we feel it runs us, but
I'm in control of how much time I spend on my phone.
Yes. What about our relationships? This could be relationships with your team, your partner, your kids, your friends, right? This is a big one.
I'm in control of how I speak to my husband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in control of how present I am during conversations and not listening to the pings of the phone, and control whether I pick it up in the middle of a which is like my husband's pet peeve. And I'm like, I was just looking at it, right?
Just real quick.
It feels automatic. It does. But we are in control of that. We have made the conscious choice to pick up the phone and look, or to react in a certain way. What about your health journey? Right? We haven't touched on this too much, but this is so important as a leader. Are you taking care of your health, your physical, mental, and emotional health?
I'm in control with what I put in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
I really am.
Right? This is another biggie.
I'm in control scheduling my, yearly exams. Or I'm in control scheduling going and taking the walk. I'm just scheduling it, but actually showing up and doing the walk for myself.
And how many times you say, I just don't have time to refill my water bottle, go for the walk, make the healthy lunch, meal prep, exercise.
Yeah. Or we say that we want to be doing this better. We want to be eating better, but how are we taking control of planning better? Actually going to the grocery store and pick up the healthy things. Yeah. We are in control of that.
Absolutely. Okay. So now that you guys have been thinking about all the things, so I love doing this exercise because sometimes it's a great reminder of the things when we are kind of feeling a little out of control, even though maybe from the outside we look like we're keeping it together well, but there's just chaos going on in here. It's really great to remind ourselves of all the things that we are in control of. Okay. Now, of course, there are things that are beyond our control. Okay. So I want you to do on the other side of that line, what are a few things that are outside of your control in your business, in your relationships, and in your health journey? right? In our business. We do not have control over whether or not a client comes to work with us, right? That's their decision. It's outside of our control as to whether our advertising efforts or whether people connect with our message. We'd like it to be in our control. We'd like everybody to hear and love our message, right? But that's outside of our control.
Here's the big one. It's outside of our control when COVID hits.
Mm-hmm.
If anything we were taught from 2020 is that there's some things that we just cannot control.
Mm-hmm.
But how we show up around it, right? That's what we can control.
Absolutely. It's a biggie, right? I'm in Canada. I would love if you're from Canada and you're tuning in, give me a little shout out on the chat. I'm watching it. But
all right,
we have been we've been in and out. This is our third lockdown. We just entered another lockdown on the weekend, where majority of our stores are closed, restaurants are closed again. It's where I'm living it's pretty tight. You're still not allowed to go outside of your bubble. We can't have more than 5 people within our either households or a bubble getting together. And this is the third time we're going into a more sort of stringent lockdown. And it is tough. It is outside of my control, right? But, Mississauga, hello. I'm in Burlington. I can't see who it is. It just says Facebook user, but shout out. But yeah, so it's outside of my control. But what is outside of my control, what is in my control is how I choose to show up, how I choose to use the time that I have. Right? So when you're thinking of those things, hi Amanda. I figured I was thinking it was you. So when you're looking at what's outside of your control in your business, in your relationships, and in your health journey, now that you know, right, what is outside of your control, what do we do with that information? What do we do? If I can pull this sign down, I would show you. We let it go. I have a sign right here, a picture that says big letters, let it go.
Let it go.
It's outside of our control. What people are going to think about us is outside of our control, right? You want to post that business post on Instagram? You're like, oh, what are they going to think about? What are my friends going to think? What are the people in my community that don't realize I've gone into business or don't realize I've changed careers? What are they going to think?
Or if I make the wrong decision, what will people think? That's outside of your control.
Yeah.
You can just control how you show up, how you respond to it. Because everyone is entitled to their own opinion. It has nothing to do with you.
Right? Most people's opinion, it has to do with them. They're reacting to something that's inside them. So we know what's in your control. We know what's outside of your control. There's that third part, right? We can influence certain things. So things that are out of our control, can you influence the situation or the outcome in a positive way? Right? And it's important to recognize that as well. And this is what we are talking about today, right? How do you start showing up with influence?
Yeah.
Awesome. I find this exercise is really enlightening when we haven't thought about it in a while and can kind of bring some peace, right? Have you been worrying about something that is outside of your control?
Yeah. People are so funny. Look at Umber. I'm in control of this slow churn vanilla ice cream with warm, soft batch chocolate. Okay, I just got hungry. Going inside my mouth right now. Yes, you are in control of that.
That's
So
awesome.
don't complain if later you're not feeling so great. Yes.
Right? So gaining this clarity is really important.
Yes. So yes, the next thing that is the clarity, right? Clarity can only come from self-reflection and evaluation. So if you're on the next page, Next page on the top. Remind yourself that clarity can only come through self-reflection and evaluation. If you're not taking the time to self-reflect each day, that's something you want to take on, because only growth can come from that. If you're self-reflecting and then you're beating yourself up, there's no growth in that. You can't change what already happened, but you can clean it up. You can change how you show up the next time and prepare yourself for it. That's what you're in control of. So self-reflect, evaluate yourself, and think, okay, I didn't show up as my best self with that. That wasn't like how I really wanted to show up. Or I didn't hear what they really were trying to say. You can always call them back. You can always have that conversation again. You know, we were having that conversation. I've done it with my kids. I was like, you know what? I blew up on you guys, and I apologize. I was not showing up as my best self, and I want to clean that up. I said, what impacted me is this, blah, blah, blah. I asked you to do something, whatever it is. And I was like, and it just, I popped off. But that's not how I want to show up. So I'm going to ask you that, don't make me ask you 10 times so that I lose it. Right? If you guys can help me with that, then I can have a little bit more control. If it's in your business, sometimes we'll make decisions as leaders that may not always be the best decision. We may make a mistake, and we're human. And all that's left there is to have the conversation. You say, you know what? I made that decision. May not have been the right decision. Next time I should have consulted with this person before doing that. It's happened. It's happened to me. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it. I just thought I needed to make a decision. So I did that. It can be undone.
Yeah. Very few decisions are permanent and final, and you can't go back and change your mind, and you can't go back and make a different decision. Very, very few. So when you're, and showing up as a leader and admitting that you made a mistake, or admitting that you didn't, you didn't show up the way you wanted to, there's a lot of power in that. And there's a lot of influence in that. It holds the space for your team when they make a mistake or they aren't having a great day, to say, there's that we call psychological safety, where they feel safe enough to come in and share and say, hey, you know what? Before it goes down, I'm really struggling with this. I need a little bit of space today, or whatever the case may be. Or if they make a mistake, coming and sharing that with you as the leader and feeling comfortable enough to do it because you've shared with them when you've messed up, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, okay, there's a change in dynamic here. And that's really important. And that's influence, right? You're changing and you're showing people another way to show up, another way to think, another perspective to take. And then they start responding. Even think about your kids. Think about yourself, and if you're a parent, and as your kids get older, and all of a sudden you say something, you're like, oh my gosh, I just sound like my mother right there. Right? It wasn't like she said, this is how you parent, and this is, maybe your mom has, but it's not like they're trying to teach you a lesson in parenting. They were influential in the moment, right? And now it's going back, right? It's coming back around. I know with my kids, sometimes I'll say something and I'll hear them. I have a 3-year-old and a 7-year-old, and all of a sudden I hear my kids say something, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's, but they've heard me say it, or they've heard my husband say it, and they're being influenced by that. Now, if I only said or did that thing one time, chances are they wouldn't. But if it's a phrase that we use often, or if it's a way of interacting over and over, they're naturally influenced by it. You have more power than you think, and you're more influential than you think for those around you.
That's right.
So what is it that you want to, how is it that you want to start influencing the people in your lives? Mm-hmm. Right? And we're talking your team, we're talking your family, we're talking your neighbors, we're talking your friends, we're talking strangers, people that you come in contact with. Yeah. Have you ever thought about the way you show up in those situations?
Yeah, and some of you are thinking, well, I was here to learn about building a dream team. This is part of it. Because just how you're showing up with your family, your other relationships, or how you're influencing it also rolls into how you're influencing your team as well. Because everything flows together. If you're not being one way, and I've seen it, some people are one way with their family, they're one way here, but there's some inauthenticity that starts to happen, and you start to second guess yourself, right? So you want to make sure that whatever it is, however you're showing up as a leader, you want it to come natural, you want to be your best self, you want to be authentic, and you want it to show in all areas of your life. That's when you're going to have alignment and flow. None of this overwhelm, anxiety, burnout that'll show up, right? When you're having those, something's out of line.
And it's exhausting, right? It's exhausting to be one version of Alexis at work, another version of Alexis with her girlfriends, another version when she's at home, another version. Like that is just like, I ain't got time for 5 different personalities, right?
Yeah.
You just want to
talk about energy loss right there.
You know, you want to just operate from your best and highest self as much of the time as possible, right?
Yep.
Yes, we might get pulled in to situations, but when we are conscious of how we're showing up, we're able to rein it back in, remind ourselves how we want to be showing up, remind ourselves the experiences that we want to create, and get right back to the best of who we are. And so a key area of clarity that will allow you to quickly and steadily break through barriers, distraction, and finally start living a fulfilling and high-performing life is developing what we call the clarity of self. Okay? So this is identifying who you are and how you want to show up in life. This is, I think, if I had to just pick one, my very favorite exercise to do. I find it the most powerful and impactful. Do you want to explain it, Mehreen?
Yeah. So that clarity of self exercise, you really want to pay attention to this one, because this is really going to affect your energy, and you want to notice what energy you start to bring with it. So what we want you to do here is identify the 3 words that will define the best of who you are. The best of who you are that will guide you through your personal life, including any of your thoughts or your actions. So for example, how is it that I'm going to show up today? I'm going to show up vibrant. I'm going to be showing up playful, and I'm going to be showing up determined to make sure that you all get this. And that shifts who I'm being right now. There could have been a lot of things happening in the background, right? My kids are walking out the door, things are happening, and I'm like, where are they going? My husband's asking, like, did they tell you that they're going somewhere? But I'm focused right here. I have to be present right here. So how is it that I'm going to show up? Am I going to be confused or frustrated and bring that in here? Or am I going to show up vibrant and excited and determined and focused and playful? How is it that I'm going to show up? So think about, how is it that you want to show up? When you're interacting with your family, how is it that you want to show up with them? I tell this to our clients all the time. When I went through my team management leadership training, they made us do an exercise. Wake up one morning, come down, and be all like, what the heck? Why is the kitchen so dirty? What the heck? Where is everybody? You guys get down here. What's happening? Like be really irritated and frustrated. As those kids come down, their mood is going to be off. Right now, they're not going off to school. They're doing virtual learning. But if they were going off, they'd probably be all ticked off, may not even have a breakfast. It just sets the mood, the tone for the day terribly. That's how much control we have with who we're being. Now, the next day you wake up and you get up, you come down and say, who wants some coffee? I made some coffee. Oh, do you want some breakfast? What are you having for breakfast? Oh, there's some yogurt in the fridge. Why don't you help yourself? Like however how you're being, like I was being playful, I was being fun, I was being loving, gave them a hug. I go in the room, kind of annoy them a little bit, but they still wake up in a good mood because they know I'm being funny, annoying. But it sets the tone for the day. That's what our energy does. So how you are showing up, when we're talking about being, it's not the doing, not what you're doing, it's how you're being with what you're doing. Things can happen. Things can happen anytime, any place, but how you're being about it is what's going to make the difference. It's going to make the difference in your energy, that burnout, overwhelm, anxiety starts to dissipate because you are very present to how you need to show up immediately. Not thinking about, I need to go do this, I need to go do that. You're not present. You're not present. Right? Or why did that person say this to me? Or I wanted to do this, but he never supports me. When you're stuck there, you're not being your best self. You're trying to control something that's not part of something that you can control. Right? So take that on and think about those words. Those words could be unstoppable. It could be focused. It could be happy. It could be, I don't know, help me out, Alexis. What other words could there be?
One of my words is present, and that is just in general. I want to feel more moments of the day. I want to be present, whether I'm with somebody, whether I'm by myself, whether I'm in a task. I want to be present so that defines me. And keep in mind, these words they're to describe the best of who you are. So even if you haven't been showing up that way lately, that's okay. If it's an aspiration where you aspire to show up this way more often, use that as a word.
Yeah.
Right. You could be bold. You could be confident. You could be one of my words is just fun. I just want to bring an element of fun in, whether I'm by myself, right? I sometimes put on a whole rock concert in my car while I'm driving alone. It's probably very entertaining for the people I've decided to like. Right? But so whatever your words, whatever is important for you. And then once you've identified these words and you feel good about them, right? They just shouldn't be words that are nice or you like. They should be words that when you say them, they trigger something positive in you, right? You're like, yeah, this is me. Like, this is how I want to be showing up more often. This describes the best of who I am. And whatever those 3 words are, put them somewhere or we love to set an alarm label in your phone to go off a couple times during the day to remind you. That's a great way. You could, put it on a sticky note on your bathroom mirror. You could write it on your bathroom mirror with a dry erase marker. You could have it on your laptop, in your car, wherever you're going to see it throughout the day and be able to take a minute, take 30 seconds, look at the words, read the words, remind yourself that those are what defines the best of who you are.
Yeah.
And how are you going to take that into the next activity?
Yeah. And this is a vital exercise that you need to start applying now, right now. Like, how are you showing up in this? Are you distracted? Are you multitasking? Or are you focused on, I'm going to get something out of today's masterclass because I know there's going to be a lot of value and I'm going to be totally present, curious, and determined to get my workbook done and do the homework. You can decide how you want to show up in anything that's happening. Let me give you a couple of like a business example, and then I'll give you a personal example. Okay. In my business or in my consulting, one of my teammates just went off on a call in front of everyone else towards me. And I was just like, oh my God, what happened? And I could have been like, what is your problem? Blah, 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 all this stuff. And instead I was like, wow, I was curious, like what's impacting her? What's happening on her end? And I was like, okay, so I just kept listening and then I repeated back. Okay, so what I'm hearing is that this is what's impacting you. This is what's impacting you. What I was really getting from it was that she was overwhelmed. So once she started saying it, and once I repeated back, because I showed up with curiosity and very present to what she was saying and validating what she was feeling. So I wanted to make sure that I was present and validating her and acknowledging her. I asked her, I said, let me give you a call after our meeting today and let's talk about how we can, work around this. And she was like, no, I'm fine. She was fine. But so I called her later and I asked her, I was like, what's happening? And then she said she had all these things that were happening. She had these things that were happening. So she just had stuff going on. I said, well, let me take a few things off your plate. You need to handle yourself. I mean, like, I wasn't saying like you need to handle yourself. So you've got things you need to handle. And let's manage to see what's on your plate and let's reprioritize. Not a big deal. She felt so much more calm. I can be responsible how I'm going to show up as a leader. Or I could have been like, I cannot believe you just popped off in that meeting. like seriously, you could have just called me, but she had something she needed to say. So I made sure she was heard.
Yeah.
Right. My husband one day, he was going off on the girls because he was like, why aren't the dishes done? Why didn't this happen? Blah, blah. I went upstairs and I'm like, what's going on? My husband never really yelled, so I was kind of shocked. And I was just like, okay, what's going on? I'll take care of it. Don't worry. So I told the girls, blah, blah, blah. I asked him to sit down. And then I just sat there and I asked him, I was like, what's happening? I said, is everything okay? Blah, blah. He said, I just wanted to make sure that, I said, I got that. I'll take care of it. We'll make sure that dinner's done for the week. We'll make sure all this stuff. I was like, but what's going on? And then he says, there's a reorg happening at work, and I don't know what was happening, and so-and-so didn't show up to this thing, and my neck is on the line. But, he was dealing with his stress, and he was taking it out. And the thing is, we have to be curious and present to who people are. To be a really influential leader, you have to be in their space. We're so much in our head, and we're so much in the defense and how we're going to react, that we forget that in order to be influential, we need to understand where people are coming from. When you start mastering that, you start mastering being influential, deepening those relationships that you want to deepen, whether it's with your spouse, a significant other, whether it's your children, or whether it's your teammates, whether it's clients, right? So you want to make sure that you're being responsible with being really clear of who you're being. And that's why we say, create those 3 words that work for you. Stand in them. You can change them at any time. And before you start any meeting, before you have any phone call, before you have anything that you need to take on, say those 3 words, feel the shift, and go forth. You will see the notice. You'll notice the change. You will notice the change in what you'll see, right? What will happen? You will realize that who you're being shifts your entire world around you. Our clients have seen it.
And the thing is I want to really make something clear, is that our default is reaction. Like we are reactionary beings. Like look at a baby, right? When we don't know anything. We are simply reacting to our environment. It's cold. Wah, I'm hungry. Wah. Like we just react to what's going on around us. That is our default mode. So it's easy. I myself will slip back into reactionary mode, and I have to remind myself. So this is work. This is work that you have to be committed to taking on if you want to reach that next level in your relationships, in your business, in your leadership. It's work. And that's why we say, like, put the alarm in your phone. And some people be like, okay, yeah, and then they don't do it, right? But you got to do the work. You have to remind yourself why this is important. You have to remind yourself why you want to be making this change. And I promise you, if you commit to doing this for the rest of this week, put the alarm in or put the sticky note somewhere and be really, really intentional about connecting with those words every single day, I guarantee you will feel a shift in yourself. You will see a difference in your relationships with the people that are around you. I have not shared this. We've not shared this with anybody that has not come back and been like, that was a dumb exercise, unless they didn't do it. Everyone comes back and is like, this is crazy.
Your energy will go up. Your confidence will go up. Your productivity will go up. Your influence will go up. I mean, why wouldn't you do this? Why wouldn't you do this? Right? So start doing it now and let us know. Try it this evening when you're having dinner with your family. Try it when you're interacting with a client. Try it when you're, speaking to someone on your team. Try it. Try how you want to show up and see how you listen differently and how you show up differently.
And take a few minutes and really get those words that mean something to you. Okay. And then your homework for today is to post those 3 words in the day 2 homework thread. Share. And if you're really struggling with these words, guys, we're a sharing open community. Steal somebody else's words for right now. Look and see what you resonate with. And then, like I said, these words sometimes can change over time depending on where you are, because if you really commit to this and do it, you'll find that this will now become who you are, right? That, let's say your word is curious, right? And you really start to ask the questions before you react. So now this has become your default, right? So now maybe in 3 months from now or 6 months from now or a year from now, you're like, okay, I'm curious all the time. I don't need the reminder. What's a different word that now I want to be, working towards? So these words can change over time. So don't think once you pick them, you're stuck with these. You can redo this exercise as much as you'd like. The key is to find a word that describes who you're being and something that when you say it, you feel kind of an energy shift in some way. So try them out. If you're putting them in your phone and then you're kind of glancing at them and you're not really bothering to take a second to even think about them, then they're not doing their job. They're not the right words. So take a little bit of time, find those 3 words, look through, pop them in the homework thread, share them with the community, have a look. You might see something that you really kind of gravitate to more, and then figure out where can you put them in your world that you're going to come across them a couple times a day. Okay. Yeah. I had mine set at 7 a.m., which is when I wake up. I usually wake up just before 7, but that alarm will go off with the label reminding me of the words. I would have them at lunchtime when I knew I was going to take a break and I could, have a little look. And then I would have them just before dinner with my family. So when I first started this exercise, 3 times a day, my phone went off. And I did that probably for over a year, I had the alarm set. Right. I think I had to stop it because it was going off. One of them was going off during when I was teaching, and it was going off in class at 12 o'clock. So I had to take that one off. But it's so powerful. It really, really is.
Yeah.
See a comment.
All right. So don't forget to post that in the homework thread, which will be up in the next 20, 30 minutes. So make sure that you post that in the homework thread, what your 3 words are, so that we can cheer you on and taking that on. And make sure it's a being. It is a being, not a doing. Okay. The other thing that we're going to, tomorrow's another big teaching day. Okay. We're going to be talking about creating that dream team vision for your workplace, for your business. What is that dream team vision? So make sure that you're here, ready to go, quiet place, spending come in focused, present, and determined to get through it. All right. And so we will be here same time at 2 p.m. Eastern, right here in the Women Who Lead Facebook group. And for those of you, if you've missed any of the day 1 that came in new today, the replay is in the guides section. Those of you who want to take advantage of our workshop on Saturday, if you want to, VIP join that one, you want to invite 5 friends into this. Who else could benefit in this? If you know some powerful, driven women entrepreneurs or people who are managing teams, bring them in. Share this with them. If you are reporting to someone that could benefit from it, to help them be a better leader, invite them in and let us know. Let your concierge know who they are, and we will give you the VIP pass to the workshop on how to reach your 1-year goal in 90 days. Okay. Also, make sure you're doing your homework and posting it in the thread, because that puts you in the running for our giveaway offer that we're going to announce on Thursday. So you have time to catch up. We will be tallying it all up Thursday morning, and we'll make an announcement on Thursday at 2 o'clock. All right, everyone. Yes, so good. We're so excited to have you guys here. Really, you guys are amazing. If you haven't already booked a call with us, please, I love speaking to each and every one of you. I've spoken to some of you in the DMs. Here is our link. Here's a link how to book a 15-minute quick chat. Just tell us, who are you? What are you up to? What do you love about the Masterclass? Where are you from? Yeah, make sure you book that call with us. We'd love to have that conversation. If you want the concierge to help you with booking that call, they can help you. If you don't remember the link, you're listening to this and you're driving or whatever, I hope you drive carefully, but reach out to your concierge. Also, if you want reminders when we're going live, you can text GSC to 404-737-3299. It's at the bottom of every page of your workbook. So if you want those reminders to when we're going live, because you get in the zone and you forget, then that's a great way for you to get those reminders. All right. Thank you, everyone. And I hope you enjoyed it, day 2. I know you all did. We can see you guys in the comments here. And we will be talking to you all very soon, and see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much, Alexis.
Thank you.